Put your hands together mightily unto the Lord. Now, when Jesus encountered the man possessed with a legion of demons, Jesus did not have an axe in his hand. He did not have a pistol in his hand. He did not have any military weapon. But he had authority in his mouth. And he was authority personified. So he just opened his mouth and he spoke. He did not lay hands. He only opened his mouth and spoke. So when a prophet opens his mouth to speak, the angels of God set out in battle in the spirit. And so before Elisha declared tomorrow about this time,
not just having soldiers, chariots and horses.
The soldiers of heaven had sat on their chariots. The soldiers of heaven had sat on their horses and sat in their chariots, and they were ready to wage war against the spirit that had brought famine to the people. Now, God has vested authority in the mouth or in the lips of every prophet. So when a prophet opens his mouth to speak,
it breaks demonic activities.
His words breaks demonic activities.
And a demon, so many years, 38 years, Jesus Shiano, one day, one way. Sorry.
That is why a man whose life had been afflicted for about 38 years by demons, Jesus met him, and Jesus met him one day, and on that day he said one word to him. He said, "Arise, take your bed and walk."
Lazarus, sorry.
He said, "Lazarus, arise."
Just a word.
He spoke just a word.
No, Papa was capable, but it scanning.
He said that yes, there was a time in his father's life that he was very rich, but in the process of time, he lost his riches. Now, why did I ask him that question? What did I see?
Gentlemen, eka dan for dan wo busua eka nkwa.
Now, creditors have come to demand for the payment of a debt, and what they are demanding is your life. But why has this become necessary?
Now, the
creditors that have come making demands for payment are many, and they are strong. They are spirits, and they are many, and they are strong. Now, the leader of these creditors is stronger than the spirit that controls your family. For that reason, when the spirit that controls your family saw the leader of the troop of creditors, it paid obeisance to it by bowing. So why have some creditors come to make a demand of or for your life, to defray a debt. Now this is the cause. A certain man, it may be your father or your uncle. So a certain uncle some years ago consulted a shrine. He went with his friends. Now their purpose there, their mission there was to take ritual money. They went for ritual money. One of his friends hailed from Obomi. Another from Impraeso. Another from Obo. And they came together. The point they met was at Nkoko. Now they met in a certain house, and in that house there was a drugstore in front of the house. They were going to travel on Friday or on a Friday to the shrine. And their purpose was to seek ritual money. Because other groups or other friends of theirs had gone for ritual money and they were successful at it, and now they were rich and they had houses, they owned houses. And so these friends decided that they were going to follow the steps of the other friends who were successful at ritual money. So they set out at dawn. And indeed they arrived at the shrine. And so they told the spiritualist their mission there. So the spiritualist also consulted his powers. And the spiritualist said to them, I can offer help to you. They said to the spiritualist, we have confidence in you because we know because we know that you are the one that helped this man and that man and that man, and our friends whom you have helped directed us to this place to come and see you. Now, so the spiritualist said to one that I want one a ram. He said to the other, I want 2 from you. Another, he said, I want 3 from you. And to the last person, he said, I want 4. So the following week, they presented the rams the spiritualist had demanded. Now, as for this gentleman, his uncle was so poor that he borrowed money from his friend to be able to buy the rams requested of him to bring. So, of a truth, in the process of time, not so long after they had gone there, he lost the life of his child. And after the death of his child, his wealth and riches began to show. So he became very rich. Now, in the process of time, 2 of his nephews died. Now, after so many years, the last nephew earmarked to die must die so that it comes to an end. Now the last nephew is you. You are the last nephew. So a certain idol spirit that caused your uncle or brought your uncle wealth
Waja sutu anamo was akwan so na wono de nia nanko so ye ema ne yie de ni sili no wanye.
Now,
Enti yedie ne san eto pansam.
Now, your father also charted the same course. He did the same thing, but what he was required to do for his riches to be established, he failed to do it, and so the riches went away from him.
Enti mfie bebrebe achi afei na odwampa otua dua aka. I was say.
So after many years, the last ram that must be offered as a sacrifice, it is in this time that ram will be offered.
Nti sunsuma wapie edom dinachi.
And so I see a spirit that has come out leading a troop of demons.
In fact, the nim tise nipa nim eso sakokora wanyini.
Now the face of that demon has a human semblance, but it looks like an old man with wrinkled old face.
Na bodje say atenten eso ya wowo.
And he's got a long beard, but it's a beard of serpents.
Ni trinwi esisi honom nsia apapo eno so ya wowo.
And it has 6 locks of hair on its head, and they were all serpents.
Ena bebe mienu sisi ni tri so.
And there were 2 horns on its head.
Owon taban sisi n'achi.
It's got it's got wings behind it.
Na ne nam mienu tise nantwie.
And it has the hoofs of a cow.
Okasa tise nipa.
It speaks with the voice of man.
Woni abusua behiem.
This spirit convened or met with the family
Aka kire abusua say
and said to the family,
aka na for the body a etwato.
And said to the family that I am making a demand of the last sacrifice.
Into obeje.
And so it said it had come to the family to
Tinanu
take it.
ya abusua ya meeting.
So not so long ago, the family convened a meeting.
Na ebesi wo so.
And you were the one that was pointed.
Sawofa no. Wonim de oyeye.
Because your uncle knew what he did.
Ne ba ne ne wofa ase no.
His child and his nephews.
Was what do so kan ho.
But he counted you also amongst the nephews.
Sanse what tran ne nchen da.
Because you lived with him some time ago.
Nti okada fo aba.
And so the creditors have come.
Na busua so epene so handle over ema sunsun.
And so the family also agreed and they handed you over to the spirit.
Na de me ya ne se sunsun mo do wa hye botom.
But what hurts me is that I saw the spirit had put you into a sack
O twa nnabi.
and was waiting for certain number of days to pass.
Na waje won kwan firi won sem.
And then it will take your life from you.
Na nka wo bewu ya sa afi we mu.
You would have died in a very painful way in this year.
And
that death will not be your fate or your destiny. But it is because it is because it is by reason or by virtue of a certain man who got some wealth in the family, and you are one of the people whose lives were marked as a sacrifice. But God, who is the creator of all things, the God of compassion and the God of mercy, God just looked down upon the face of the earth and looked amongst the sons of men. And while he was looking down upon the sons of men, his eyes came into Ghana and he entered this church. And his eyes found you. And he saw the evil plans against your life. Now the God of all creation that sits on his cherubim, our Lord and our Savior, he said, I will not allow this evil thing to happen to this man. And he said, I will deliver him. And he said, he will satisfy you with long life. And he will bless you. And he will prosper before you die. And so God the Creator has visited this gentleman today
San sɛ wo akoma papa.
because he's got a good heart
Ɛna wabɛ Nyankopɔn nsra
and
bɛn.
because he has come under the tabernacle of God.
Nti ɛnnɛ divinity a visit wo.
And so divinity has visited you today.
Ɔkyie bi ɛyɛ adwuma wɔ w'abrabɔ.
And there is deliverance taking place in your life.
Mihu Awurade ɔte cherubim.
I saw the Lord seated on his cherubim.
Bra n'ani ehunu wo no.
While or when or at the time his eyes found you,
Ɛna mihu sɛ n'abɔfoɔ atwa ne ho
I
ahyia.
saw that his angels were surrounding him.
Na mihu sɛ Awurade soma abɔfoɔ no mu baako.
And I saw that the Lord sent one of the angels.
In fact, na yɛ nkumaa no mu baako.
In fact, it was one of the least of the angels.
Ɔmfa ɔgyeɛ ɛmrɛ.
And instructed that angel to bring deliverance to you.
Ɔbɔfoɔ atwe ne nkrantɛ sɛdeɛ aha na ɔmo taa yɛ no.
Now, in the custom or according to the way they behave many times, the angel drew out a sword.
Mihu sɛ mini Holy Ghost ɛne angels ɔmo atwa me ho ahyia no. Nso no mu baako wura pillar of fire no mu.
I saw myself and one of the 7 angels that have surrounded me. Both of us entered into the pillar of fire.
Mehwɛ na mihunu.
And I saw
Nkrampan bi a wogyina efie bi mu.
I saw a skeletal being standing in the compound of a certain house.
A ɔbɛgye yɛ nua bɛrima nkwa.
And that spirit was ready to take the life of this gentleman from him.
Ɛne sunsum a me describe ni.
And also this spirit which I described,
Ɔno nso gyina sunsum wiase.
that's all that the spirit I described in the world of the spiritual.
A ɔde yɛ nua bɛrima ahyɛ bɔtɔm.
I saw that spirit had put the life of this man into a sack.
Deɛ sii yɛ ni.
This is what happened.
Angel no strike saa skeleton no.
I saw that the angel struck that skeletal spirit.
Na mihu sɛ ɔwɔ ne enipakuo bi ɛwɔ fie bi mu a ɛwɔ obo.
And I saw that the angel warned certain groups of people in a certain house at Obo.
Ɛna ɔsan kɔ wɔn ne abusuakuo bi a ɔmo wɔ ɔbɔme.
And also went to Obome to warn certain people of a certain family.
Bankɔkɔ ɛbɛ wɔn ne abusuakuo bi so wɔ hɔ.
And-
The same trace.
And the angel came to Nkoko and warned certain people at Nkoko, and these people can be linked together.
Na
or
mihu
traced.
sɛ angel abawura sunsum mu.
Now
ɛwɔ bunu.
I saw spiritually that the angel went deep into the realm of the spirit,
Kɔto hyɛ saa sunsum yi so.
and the angel pounced on that demon.
Deɛ mesi n'anim te sɛ akɔkora.
Now the one I described, which looked like an old person,
Na bɔgye sɛ ɛyɛ awɔwɔ.
and its beard were full of serpents,
Ne tirinwi yɛ awɔwɔ apampɔ nsia.
and the hair on its head were 6 locks
Abɛbɛn mmienu sisi ne tiri so.
of snakes with 2 horns on its head,
Ne nan te sɛ nantwie.
and its feet were like the hoofs of a
Na ne
cow.
ho ɔdene.
And this spirit was strong,
Na angel yi to hyɛ ne so.
but the angel pounced on this demon
Wɔnhunu baabi a angel no pie firi. Ɛde ohun yɛ sɛ angel no atoa hyɛ ne so.
because this demon did not know where the angel appeared from, and all of a sudden the
Hye
angel
bɔtɔ ne firi ne
pounced
nsam.
on him, and then the angel snatched
Na
the
mu nsa
sack.
bɔtɔ ne nane te sɛ nkuto.
And I saw that the sack melted. It was incinerated by the presence of the angel. It melted
Hyɛ
like
nua bɛrima yi.
shea butter. And the angel snatched the life of this
Ɛde ne
gentleman
ma angel nam ne ne wura a wɔgya fa
and
dum
gave
no.
his life to the angel with whom I entered the pillar of fire.
Na mehu sɛ angel no de nteamu kɔ.
And I saw that the angel went back with a shout.
Na ayera mo te fa ne kwan a wɔfa so no.
And the path the angel went through, I saw lightning on that path.
N'ani baa me ho so. Na yɛ so yɛhyɛ ogya fa dum mu.
Now, by the
ɛwɔ
time
ɛdɛm.
I came to my consciousness, I realized that we were in church and we're having service.
Na Awurade kasa kyerɛ me sɛ ɔde ɔgye ama gentleman.
And the Lord said to me that He has ministered deliverance to this gentleman.
Ɔnyɛ ngu.
He will not die.
Sikaduro nsuman ntumi nko no.
Now, the idol responsible for ritual money cannot kill him
Because ɔwɔ akoma papa.
because he's got a good heart.
Onyame ɔbotaeɛ ma no.
God has a purpose for his life.
Ɛno nti na mefrɛ wo me nua bɛrima.
And that is the reason I called you gentleman.
Mefrɛ no mebusaa ne sɛ ɔkɔ asɔre wɔ yi.
When I called him, I asked him which church he's
Mebusaa
a
so
member
aba ha
of.
da. Ɔse
I
ae.
asked him whether he's been here before, and he said yes.
Ɔpɛni waba ha no how many times?
How many times have you been in this church?
Waba
He
ha
said
bebree.
many times.
Wonderful. Sɛ wo ho yɛ deɛ.
Are you fine?
mensuro.
Do not be afraid.
Enya de adubeko owo.
It's not going to
The
end
important
in
is
death. What's important is that today you have been delivered. I asked you of the whereabouts of your father, and you said your father was dead, right? I asked you whether he was rich, and he said yes. He was rich at a point in time, but in the process of time, he lost all his riches. Is that correct? I want to ask you something else. Don't be worried if you don't know the answer. Have you ever lived with your uncle? He said yes. How old were you at that time? How long did you stay with the uncle? He said yes. He lived with him for some years.
No, a contractor.
He said that uncle had a house in Nkoko.
Joma, my name is Mother Numbako. I heard near it. And also another place. The time be a call Cosevono. Into 2 months and sign Cotran and Chain, baby out.
Okotran and chain.
And so
Okotran and chain were him for
Nkoko Kudra, the Chimiku. Kudra, yeah.
So he said his uncle gave him and his mother accommodation in one of his houses, but along the way they moved to live in the house of his uncle, and his uncle lived at Nkoko.
Now uncle no onyeska.
Was your uncle rich?
I don't know.
He said his uncle was very rich. He said when he was a young boy and he was growing up, his uncle was very rich. He was a contractor.
Once President Rollins ever born about so say the whole one best contractor.
Best contractor.
Now he said he was awarded the best contractor by the president of Ghana at the time.
In two of an why you didn't why you were as you should say I be good into not just offering him for the part free to go.
Yeah. And Kofrudia.
Na Kofrudia. Ti wo san ofie Kofrudia. Na then na nim about Obo.
Now what do you know about Obo?
Feel free. So nim man how.
Don't be worried if you don't know the answer.
The wife and a free Obo.
The wife and a free.
He said his uncle's wife was from Obo, and so when he died, he was buried in Obo.
Yes.
Not just a wife and any free Obo. Don't know who you see in Obo. I don't know who you young see in the crew.
Why was he not buried in the Volta region when he died?
My man can't say winter.
He said he doesn't know. Now this uncle who was wealthy,
apart from Volta
region and Togo, which you have told us, I'm giving you an assignment.
And then we may find it out
and I'm going to take the answer next week, God willing.
Apart from Volta, none free him.
I want you to find out of his roots.
Ne family, ne busunya bi wo.
Because what I want you to be aware of is that apart from the fact that his wife was from Obo, a part of his family also can be traced to Obo. So he was not buried at Obo for no reason. He was buried there because his family can be found there. How old were you when he died? He said he was of age at the time he died. I want you to find out. And even a part of his roots also comes from Obome.
A fact.
And this is a fact. And that is true.
And find out.
And so go and find out. Because I want you to do some spiritual direction. So that we can break certain things effectively. He was not buried at Obo for no reason. He was not buried at Obo because his wife was from Obo.
In fact,
his roots can be traced to Obo.
Wouldn't be before uncle no.
Do you know anything about your uncle?
And for uncle no. A dream no anya fa no. Ache.
He said he had a dream about his uncle.
No.
Post his death. And in the dream, his uncle his uncle almost slapped him and queried him why he was pursuing a job, because at that time he was pursuing a job, but he was able to dodge the slap of his dead uncle. So you did not know that he loved charms and other things. He said no. The source of his money was not genuine. It wasn't because he was a contractor. Now there are many people who have ritual money, but they have legitimate businesses they do. Have you got anything else to say? But it's very good you came here today. Let's put our hands together for the Lord. So what I'm happy about is that the Lord has ministered deliverance unto him. Have you got anything to say? He said it has been his prayer that the man of God will minister to him one day.
What's your sofa number? Onimu. We are Sanka, Obepeso Sofo do Bebamho. Now, what's me friend? My own friend. Now, a young son, me friend. Bones and Mera.
Put your hands together for the Lord.
And Minia Bema, Adia, and Kebe, you won't come free home.
So, the potential threat to your life, the risk which was pending in your life, is what God has revealed today. So if God has delivered you from the power of death, then the difficulties of life, God will deliver you from that one too.
Oh yes. I just say, oh, Fano, no Uska, uniform, and
your uncle's wealth was not ordinary. But when we close, please see me, and I will show you some prayers you will pray, and things are going to get better for you. Which church do you fellowship at?
Oh, transit. Now call action. Now in saying that one call action na obaha. Na isisi so sebraha. Tambia ana yo sebraha. Ya pawa memo aba me chen wate. Bon semerade.
Put your hands together for the Lord.
Ahofe,
Madam,
at the saying,
how are you, please?
Adum.
She said, by the grace of God, she's
I like
fine.
that. Adum. Obi busa sati say men kase ye kase onyame adum nti.
If somebody asks you, how are you? Don't just say, I am fine. Say, I am fine by the grace of God. Madam, let me ask you a question. But don't be worried. Don't be worried about the question I'm about to ask you. I'm asking you for a reason. Do you love your husband? She said yes. Are you sure? She said yes. Who did you come to church with today?
Mother. Oh, Miniaba. Ananabaha. Ufra Bushinabai. Sister mother betra wadam for nchen. Na me busa na asem bi. Se wu ni maka. E bia ofere. Ana obeka gumaso. One in the call day care. Mukro secondary school. Not just a classmate. Me fan say Adam Funia good. Me busa ne say. Sir, adiani ne bag. There be a part of a sister bag, bra. Me a sure send you my papa bi on family. Na abroche him fan every ba America na say
where did you come to Ghana from?
Good.
She said from the United States of America.
But I don't know about the intent for bla na me twem. O say o be so ja bag no mama. Anka me your body anka meje. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Now, Auntie Mother, the person me busa sister Fe say.
Auntie Mother, I want to ask your friend whether she loves her husband.
Have
you got kids with him?
How
many?
3.
She said 3. I want to tell you why I've called you. The reason I called you is about your husband. Your husband is about to die. And let me tell you the reason.
Akonya adidie akonya ene family aye meeting ena e demand wukunu ewuo.
Now
akonya no se omunkum ukunu emfa renew woni abusua na pam eye nsuman no nkonya nsuman na aka family no so agi atom so mbeye eno na e problem no.
Now the spirit of a certain stool, that stool is a royal stool, has convened a meeting with your family and has made a demand from your family to sacrifice your husband's life to renew its covenant with the family. But the dangerous thing is that the family have also agreed to do as the spirit has said.
Sa akonya no ne chaachao ene na henche egu koforudua.
Now,
na konya na nkasa de esi Asante Dwabin.
Now that stool itself is at Asante Dwabin, but the crown of the stool and the sandals of the stool is in Koforidua.
Na aden ena biribisa ekoso.
So why is a thing like this about to happen?
Akonya ni benya na nka wukunu ene tene so.
Now it is the wish of the spirit of the stool that your husband is the or would have been the occupant. It's occupant. And so the spirit is upset with the family. It's not a paramount stool. But though it's one of the sub stools, it's a very prominent one in that place. So it is in this year that the spirit has demanded of your husband's family to present your husband's life to it in this year. And so your husband is going to fall sick. He's going to be sick on and off. And many times when evil spirits do something, they attribute it to something they find.
But the real
they find a medical reason or a medical explanation for what has happened. So So sometimes somebody will be sick and say it's prostate cancer and it requires some surgery and many things. But the real cause of it is spiritual.
And so and I make a factor or husband and casano on tiasi.
And so
on an amho bound tiasi.
And so if I do not want to make what I'm saying very lengthy, the fact is that your husband, though is alive, he's kind of a living dead, walking corpse. But it was in the intention of God that today he will bring you to this house. Because your husband is not an evil man. Your husband loves men. So that plot of death is not his fate, that he would die this year, but it's a plot of evil spirits. But heaven has intervened. Heaven has intervened. Now I saw an angel appear. And I saw that the angel struck certain demons. And the demons fled with a shout. And I saw that the angel snatched your husband's life from the hand of that demon. And I saw that the angel covered your husband with his wings. And by the time he removed his wings, I saw that your husband had been covered with fire. And the angel ascended into heaven with a laughter. Now I saw that the black cloth turned into white. And I saw tears turned into laughter. And I heard a voice which spoke and said that let your husband live and live long. Put your hands together unto Jehovah. And so it is the Lord that brought you here today. So today we are not going to prophesy for a long time, but we are just addressing the root, dealing with the matter from its roots. We are going to stamp out the roots out, and break the power of evil spirits.
Uye, nyami uye, uye na watoye woda nane. Nyami uye, uye na watoye woda. Oye, onyami oye na watoye woda. Nyamiye, now I go water. Asam kesi bitumi, mi nyamiye yimi free mo. Pasha mata de fufro, wapaja mi esi obo so. Oyo nyami kokoko, onyami batampa. Wakama sama mame, wedi masema mame. Obiara ni ho ne wose. Swaye inyobena minka sembe kwa enfancha mama no onyame wa ebio asanka sibitome minyame ayimi afiri mu wase washamata de foforo wapeja mesi obotanso oyo onyame kokoko onyame batampa wakama sama mame wadi masema mame obiara ni ho ne wose Swaye inyobena minka sembenkra enfancha mama no onyame wa ebio oye je eva onyame uye now I adore Dabi wa makumemo. Ah, eya ye is no kwase that's no kobi. Oh nyame, adi punch me, na me na de jami re. So me come anymore.
Bonsema Yesu.
Put your hands together for Jesus.
I want your point memo about my office.
Madam, I would ask you to come to my office when we close.
My person, my husband,
I want to have a conversation with your husband.
Not just a unim ni out here 20 years. Ukunu papa na ne oye ochiame hene ewo Asante dwabin yay. Oh,
said that
wonderful.
Her husband's
father
was the linguist. Was the linguist of the Dwabin stool.
Ukunu ofri ano anase ofri abesim anase ofri shiawu anase ofri. We said the name holy. Dabe no me no operation no.
When did he have the surgery?
Diana husband operation. Ache. 2 months ago.
Is that 2 months prior to they coming to Ghana?
The nyamia se oba ha. Anka ubesie ukunu afiwe mu.
You must be thankful to God
that
you are here,
here.
or else you would have buried your husband in this year. Now it's not a joke.
Before God and man. Because
if you had not come here today, this year you would have been a widow. This year, it is the Lord that ushered you here. I want to have a conversation with your husband. I want to ask him certain questions. I'll ask him questions about Insuta. And I want to know whether he knows
specifically
about Mampong Insuta.
Insuta ne hear me, Insuta, dear me who yano, Sunsuta, there is something. Insuta, there is something.
Now, so specifically, there is something about Insuta. I did not see Mampong, but Insuta. Now, people would have started having dreams about the death of your husband. You would have had a dream yourself. But it will not come to pass.
Madam,
this is the reason I called you.
Church member.
I know you're a member of this church.
Yeah, I know, so yeah. Because what about my office order?
Have you been to my office before? She said once.
I
am very happy you are in church today. Because if you had not been in church today, it would not have been good. I am going to say something to you. Just listen and obey. I'm going to say something to this woman sitting beside you.
Tension okay, Mami oil. What did the Baba Saudi whole office or Moon How? And there be my transit. Mehiamo, help me office, Mihiamo. Ati. Yaba Komomum. Send yen soon and ya canny nipum sao. Who couldn't say, my jabby womb? Or baby a symbio, bind the menu crew never can. Ebi a memo appear, men can't so crack for bow. But a symbio and a memo appear free me office. Memma waka. I mean, who couldn't come, you had better speak up. Now the chain no be a more.
There are lots of things I distilled. I distilled in the prophecy.
It may be sir or bear or you could bush your knee be or ye bribi. Until men farm and uncle Sibonnet.
Because there is something about a certain woman that I didn't talk about. But I'll talk about it when you come to my office. And I'm not saying your husband is having an affair with a certain woman. That is not what I'm saying.
Mommy, your point over my chenwati. I have Denyamiasi. I was saying, I'm more baby that you could. But one can say, Yamedo.
Now you should be thankful to God because you would have been lucky. You should have been dead, and another woman would have taken your place in your marriage. But God loves you. But I'm not saying your husband has another woman in his life. I'm not saying that because if that were the case, I would have told you. But I am not saying that.
Because
Now I am not saying your husband has a child with another woman. Because I cannot say that.
Oh, but Bibi said, "You home." Say Bibi sound manka. Me fancy. Wakwa ya ante moda. Eduyan kwa na me kan chiro ba hwe say ni ho. Ukuru kro mpane masa. Ukuru no odwene no ho. No odwene no ho. Ono onyane banku dibi a no obi any problem. Okay, money nyame nante. Bye bye you. O bag no bo modern na fa hye fa kuta ye. Bo nsema Yesu. Hallelujah. Mommy,
Madam, I want to say something to you. And if you can obey it, I would love it. Who do you know or who are you close to in this auditorium?
Because if you
have a very close friend in church or a relative in church, I want that person to come so that if you forget what I'm telling you, he or she will remind you.
Oh, okay. Oh, my crowd, I know you bet me at transit. Some are media were popular in her. There be our sa. Yeah. I will ask my best some catcheroni, but your tea.
Now, listen to what I'm about to say to you.
And
And don't despise it. Don't doubt it. Take it seriously. In this year, don't attend any funeral or burial ceremony until this year goes to an end. Now, I should have told you when you were there. I shouldn't have asked you to come forward. It's very simple. I am saying to you that in this year, don't wear a funeral clothing and attend a funeral or a burial in this year.
May I repeat it for the last time?
Now, for the last time, let me repeat it.
Now,
let me tell you this.
Go and
find out if you don't know about what I'm about to say.
Your
roots come from Jamestown. Go and find out if you do not know. Your roots come from Jamestown. The same sunsum. Now, a spirit that possessed your mother and killed your mother, that same spirit is following after you.
Adia, when you are soon to me process. So what type of year?
Now, what you will do to give the spirit access to your life is that if you love going for funerals, that spirit will easily possess you. Because that spirit is always wearing a funeral clothes. It has a skeletal face and is wearing a funeral clothes. Now, from the time you establish a covenant with your mother's family, anytime it manifests itself wearing a funeral clothes. And it is the spirit of an idol. And in your family, somebody has served that idol as its steward. Now, that spirit possessed your mother. And every time when your mother attended a funeral, that was when the spirit was activated in her, and it was at that funeral that the spirit used your mother. So it was through a funeral ceremony that the spirit killed your mother. At the time, the spirit took your mother's life at the time when she was wearing a funeral clothes. And so if your mother is dead, then she died on a day that she was wearing a funeral clothes. And that same spirit has been following you. Now I am speaking in a coded language. Now, because you come to the house of God every time, and because you have given your life to the Lord, the spirit has not had the chance to possess you, but it has been following you.
Na meeting na conclusion ni nyina ne se dia odi wachi no ne botae ebesi afia wieye na nka obenya okwa na nka ayu nkwa firi hono mansa no wakọ na obeyu nkwa firi hono ma gise ofra yie ntoma eya yie.
Now the spirit said to your family when he convened a meeting with your family that its time would expire by the end of this year, and before it parts with the family, it intends to take your life. But before it will have that access to your life, it will only get that opportunity when you are wearing a funeral clothes. That is why the Lord is saying to me to say to you that in this year, do not attend a funeral till December passes. Because if you wear funeral clothes and you attend the funeral, you will be able to attend the funeral, but you not come back home alive.
Taking it serious.
Take it seriously. Don't despise it. Are your children okay? She said yes. Where's your mother? She said the mother is dead. How long ago?
1987.
35 years ago. 35 years ago.
She said her mother died in 1987. That's approximately 35 years ago. Is your mother also a Ghan woman? She said yes. Let me ask you something. Don't be worried if you don't know the answer. Do you know Jamestown? She said yes. Why do you know Jamestown? She said she knows Jamestown through her mother. Is that where your mother comes from? She said yes.
Medubecha Pokesia Edaweni Mose Biratan Fudi Wachi, Sefero Nini Dom, Nancy Ewa Mani, Rababa Omibo. Mini Ewa, me didn't know. Mini Ewa, me didn't know Yakasi. Mini Ewa, me saturada. Mini Ewa, me didn't know. Me ma watan fuwesi, wotira se. Me ma wa hu granfu, asan wachi. Mama Owusu na o Nama shawe ni monya Awe use Mama Owusu na o Nama shawe ni monya Awe use She Midu becha Pukesia Eda weni muse Biratan Fudi Wachi, Sefero Nene Tom, Nancy Ewa Mani, Ora Papa Omimuna.
Okay.
Put your hands together for the Lord.
Yeah, mommy. Actually, say.
Now she saying. Now I asked her, what was the cause of her mother's death and how did she die?
Na utie enkomshene bae na utie de mami kan. Otum say difference be ani.
And what she said and what I have said in the prophecy are the same.
Na kire say mami no kreni enya de obekwa yie age se December atwam.
So the conclusion of the matter is that she must not attend any funeral until now. This is what she said to us.
Mebusa ne say den na ne mami wi eno say eyie bi esi ena ne mami kwa eyie no.
She said there was a funeral that her mother was asked to represent the family, attend and represent the family.
She
said so they traveled to Kumasi to attend the funeral. And so on the day of the burial, her mother fell sick. Asthma.
Asthma.
She said her mother had asthma. And so while they were taking her mother to the hospital, she died on the way.
Prophetic word
and so if there is a prophetic word that this year she must not attend a funeral, because I've seen a demon wearing a funeral clothes following this woman.
Not just a demon or kum.
So the demon responsible for the death of her mother, that same demon is following her too. But you are so lucky. You are here in the house of the Lord today, and the Lord has delivered you today. Now, I saw that a certain hand appeared, and when the demon saw the hand, it turned around and it went away. So when it turned around and was going, I saw that it held the hand of its own child, which had been assigned to the life of one of your children, and I saw that together they went away. So the reason I call this woman is that I saw a star that moved and stopped on her. And then all of a sudden I saw an obituary of her posted on the walls. And then the Lord opened my eyes and I saw all the things I have told you. Blessed be the Lord that he has sent his angel to strike that spirit. Now, this demon immediately, the revelation of it was
because one thing our dibenya and say a year and a pie. A pie who say why away. Say ye no nim say odi wachikwa anya ye. On tram me and say go and Sunday jab manako. Or no
immediately a revelation about this demon was given, and I declared it. The demon just went away because the means to which it would have got you in its grip to exact upon you has been exposed, and so it will not wait for us to cast it out with fire and all that. And so it doesn't matter what you say to this woman.
And how detailed, go in the name of Jesus. Simple.
How detailed your prophecy is. If you do not tell her that she must not attend a funeral, there is no way she'll be delivered. It does not matter you screaming, come out and go.
Demon, stubborn.
I thought the demon was going to be stubborn.
My commandant said, go
for me to command it to go in the name of Jesus. Or for me to see heaven open and an angel come to strike it.
Engineer ready. So
immediately the angel was ready to descend from heaven. I saw the demon going away. So while the demon was going, I saw the angel of the Lord that struck it on its way. He had already left. How old was your mother when she died?
54.
My mother was 54 years.
No correct. Maybe some busau baby. So feel free.
Let me ask you something. Don't be worried if you don't know the answer.
And then I knew about 57, 58.
What do you know about 57 or 58? If you don't know, don't be worried.
When you're 57,
she said she's 59 years. When did you turn 59?
February this year, February.
This year, February.
She turned 59.
Why
this year, February.
Date of birth.
Now, who wrote down
59?
Your date? You are not 59 years.
58.
You are 58 years.
59.
You are not yet 59. You have added 1 year to your actual age.
57. Almost struck you.
Now, when you were 57 years, they wanted to strike you, but a mighty hand
54
intervened. When you were 54, they wanted to strike you.
Now, let
me remind you of something. Now, when I called you, I whispered something into your ears. I don't know whether you heard it, or because of the sound, you did not hear it.
54 years.
Now, I asked you when you turned 54 years. You remember? She said yes.
No, calculation about him.
And she was trying to remember when she turned 54. Again, when I called her, she was tensed. And so I poured oil on her and asked her to wait for me. But right now, now when I asked her right now at what age her mother died, she said her mother died at 54 years. Now, when or why did I also ask her when she turned 54 years?
In fact, I 58.
Madam, you are 58 years. And this is a factual statement.
54 plus 4,
58.
54 plus 4.
58. Let me ask you another question.
Now, your calculation, you know, what you say, one kaya man how. But a hear me pa.
I'm very concerned about what I'm about asking you.
ehia me pa awon fem ba cho Usha unya 54 years ebreben.
Now, which time by your own estimation
because me busa wo nipa no ho popo wantimi anka
did you turn 54 years?
But what do you mean abutrama me ma just 2 minutes relax. Na your calculation. So on ka so a emane how. Also for the so called school directory. Unya 54 year bem.
Which year were you 54 years?
Still on Kyle. Month Bemuna, yo.
Which month were you born?
February.
She said February.
Not just a one Kai year, crowd 54. Nti sa okwa akọpa visa ni ebusa wa wontimi nkyere me pa cho uni 59 who 58.
So please, your age is not 59.
Ma me dia maka na yesa Awurade o ma me hu se ofri Jamestown sempe Awurade o ma me hu ni kwan ama me fa so wi the same Awurade na no ma me hu se wo 58 years.
Now the same Lord that
won be finish this year
revealed to me how
your
mother died.
But dia so dia ku na eno na apie ama so wahunu na wadan ho so ti memfre yie ntuma nkwa yie afi weemu wobekwa yie kra ma afi ntwam na afi ebesimu no because demon no call but enka so okonti bibia to atwa obesan aba but oba still onya access in your life again danyame ase wate
amen
ya pon so so bra me nchen
amen
ukunu ho ye waja ukunu on the Jawa na so na Jano. Enya hwe ye pon Abraham nchen wate. Ye mo ensem Mary.
Let's put the hands together for the Lord.
Oh, bow ensem ma Jesus.
You are clapping your hands unto Jesus.
Na mi busa Antipokuya say afibe mu ne wo me.
Now I was inquiring from Antipokuya which year I was born.
Yes, say me nana Owusu ba ne no bo me date. Eno kram so chro to ho na ayra.
And so I was told that it was my grandfather that wrote down my date of birth, and even the paper on which he wrote on it is missing or was missing.
Ba me ma me timi kire me aban kura no owo so ene ne ye kwa akoto aba. Em se abeka na wo twe am akoto aba no.
But my mother was very precise in telling me which government was in power and what was happening at the time I was born. In fact, she said, I was born in the time of election. So my mother said I was born on Sunday. And on the Sunday on the day I was born
me papa
in the beginning of the week that they were going to cast the ballots.
CPP. Enti opese ne mani nyina akoto aba ne bi. Enti nipa ya wo me baby nga wo se me maame mfa me hye na chi nkoto aba.
And she said her father, my mother's father, was a member of the CPP party and instructed my mother to go out and vote.
Me nana so oba fie besra me. Oba mi fie oba ebusa no. Na che said your mama me kan sa no kan no kan date ni kire ye. Sa time ne asoso ya de adwena create date bi dadada. Timi nana na ma hu say me ya wo me 17th August.
So before my grandfather died, he visited me at home and he told me what my mother had already told me.
No, me no headmaster. No, I headmaster.
He mentioned my date of birth. He told me I was born on 17th August.
Said the Antipokuya kana. So for na kwesi so echo computer so ko check sa abatuo no ne no mo koto abanama no na e de say.
And so
enu ntina se abatuo de meka bi esi. Me free suru be nyina no me ba tama ya beto aba. Hallelujah.
And so it's not surprising that
until 2024 abatuo no de meka na e final because yakoto aba yade me share akire na koto aba. Me maame etim nyina nam se na chi. Eti me no me a prophet. me to aba. Aba to prophet. Akwese Samuel yeni. Baby a me to afa na ho anefa. Bonsem erade.
Put your hands together for the Lord.
Now, Osofo Parker stressa. Antibokia. Na de otu aba man no owini de. Owini. Busia. Owini. Busia. Na me share chire na Antibokia to ye. Enti no se busia mi. Hallelujah. Now,
Amen.
And let me say,
I want to do something today.
And
blessed is any man who partakes in this. Now let's close our eyes.
Less than 10 minutes.
In about 10 minutes, I'll be closing the service.
And the ever cost of them, hey, me per se, church, mu taking it serious.
Now, what's about to happen here?
Facebook, mu taking it serious.
I want everyone to take it serious, both those who are here and those who are watching on Facebook.
Obi sharing on Facebook.
Now, there is somebody watching on Facebook.
O baby or Ghana.
You have a child in Ghana.
Your friend saw Bana serious.
You have received a call informing you that that child is sick or seriously sick.
In fact, any hospital yari.
It's not a medical sickness or sickness that can be treated
medically.
Now, if you are that person, call me when we close.
Now,
the people your child is living with have called you that your child is seriously sick. So if you are the one I'm talking about, call me after this service and I'll show you what you must do or else the child will die.
Now, there is
another person watching on Facebook, another person watching on some social media platform now. Now you have a relative who is dead, but that person was insane before that person died.
Now, in fact,
and you have seen that person in your dream.
And
when you saw that person in your dream, you were frightened. And the person said to you that I want to leave something with you in the dream. And the person said if you do not take that thing, she was going to go with you in the dream.
In fact, now when
you woke up from the dream, you were afraid. And when you remember that dream, you get afraid even more. And you are watching now. You're watching us now. Now this person I'm talking about, even though you are not in Ghana, that person you saw in your dream was giving witchcraft spirits, and it is through that spirit that person got mad, and they want to impart that same spirit into you.
Two dangers.
So there are two dangers at stake. If you allow yourself for the spirit to possess you, eventually you will go mad. If you also do not avail yourself for the spirit to possess you, that
social media.
Someone else is watching on social media. You have separated or dissolved the marriage you had with your husband.
Now, don't accept that man.
The man,
until I accepting the man afa properties. You're careful.
Now the man threatened you, and because of the fear of the loss, the fear for your life, you divorced him. He has petitioned some people to plead on his behalf.
Facebook,
or else he will kill you and take your property.
3 times.
There is somebody watching on Facebook. You have been pregnant 3 times, and you have miscarried in all instances, saith the Lord unto you, your time is up.
This time, we take a seed.
Your time is up. The Lord said, call me, I'll show you what you're going to do. You will take seed and you will not lose the pregnancy. Put your hands together for Jehovah.
Bribi tie. Bribi koso. Ye me person take part.
Now there is something going on, but I want everyone to partake in what we are doing.
And now for about
now, the sacrifice you are going to make a declaration on that sacrifice. I'm not going to touch anyone with oil.
And then now
those who are bringing money today, I'm not going to touch you with oil.
Rather no, memo bia so anointing oil mu. Memo bia so mo touch it, but me hwe mfa ngusu.
But I will ask everyone to touch.
Touch
a bottle of oil, but I will not pour the oil on you.
Na ni so tete no a mo ma na mra me nchen, me hia no. Ahon febra.
If you are sick in any part of your body, I cast that sickness. If you are under the oppression of any evil spirit, I cast that spirit.
Facebook, social media.
Those who are watching on Facebook and social media too.
Now,
this is what you want to do.